G'day, I got to tell you, I'm absolutely stoked. I just got back from my 4th ride on the Beamer, fitted with a set of Metzeler M9RR tyres. So all in all, I've done about 500 kilometres on these things, and I got to tell you, they are just brilliant. They've exceeded my performance expectations, that's for sure. But before I get too excited and too far into this, perhaps we should go to the introduction video.
Well, we've been waiting to do this for quite a while now, and that is test the Metzeler M9RRs. So we just whacked a set on this BMW S1000RR. The first thing that we noticed is that the little center strip in here, where it's devoid of any tread pattern, is actually a lot thinner on the M9 than it is on the M7RR. And I hear tell that these are particularly good in the wet, and I noticed by that the fact that that's a lot thinner that there's going to be tread pattern impacting water disbursement and displacement very early in the lean, so maybe that contributes to it a little bit. The other thing I noticed is that the slick strip on the outside is much thicker or much wider on the M9RR than it is on the M7. What that means is you have more rubber on the edge without the grooves or tread pattern in it. And that makes a lot of sense, because you're not going to run the tyre over on this angle here in the wet. You know, you're going to get up to about 35 degrees lean angle at the most in the wet on a street tyre, which is over here somewhere, you know, so there's plenty of, you know, tread pattern here for that type of angling, and then a bigger slick strip here for the higher lean angles in the dry. So can't wait to go and give this a run. We're going to give it a bit of a flog in the wet, in the dry, and we'll also run them on the road as well as the track. So let's go do this.
Well, we've completed the ride, about 500 kilometres in total, 4 separate rides. And these rides that I did, I chose the local ranges and commuting to and from those ranges for a couple of different reasons. First of all, the temperature conditions that we got to test these tyres in range from 8 degrees Celsius early in the morning through to about 23 degrees Celsius. So we got this massive spread of temperatures. The range itself is a combination of many different types of bitumen conditions: rough, you know, bumpy conditions, grooved, patched and repaired and that type of thing, to smooth bitumen, much similar to you would find on a racetrack. The turns themselves, long sweepy fast corners, as well as a combination or mixed in with switchbacks, 180 degree real steep turns, as well as a series of flip-flops where you got to, you know, change direction very, very quickly. And in addition to that, different road temperatures. So we got, you know, into some cold bitumen that was in the jungle or covered by jungle, where there's a lot of debris falling onto the road, and, you know, leaf, moss and things like that, as well as bitumen that's out in the sun and it's getting heated and that type of thing. So we had some really good conditions to try this in, and we also got the opportunity to ride it on damp bitumen as well as dry bitumen. And I got to tell you, I'm blown away by the performance of these tyres. The grip at lean is significant on these tyres, and you can drag knee both sides, lean angles, anything up to 60 degrees I'd feel super comfortable with on these particular tyres. I also played around a fair bit with trail braking at the front end, and really braking hard and starting to load the front up going into corners to see, you know, when they would let go, what type of grip you would get if you were riding more towards the racing style of riding. And again, the front end, I couldn't fault it, right? We found the point where it would start to get a bit of a slip, but very predictable. And all in all, a brilliant tyre in the dry, in road conditions. But the upside of it all is you're getting these performance conditions as performance results, as well as the wear on these is insignificant. It's actually amazing how little they actually wear. The tyres themselves got a few grooves around the edges, but right out to the very edge of these tyres, the wear rate, you know, surprised me how little they actually wore. And I would expect to get a few thousand kilometres out of these tyres, you know, way more than you would get out of a race tyre. So, you know, really good performance for a sport tyre, and something that, you know, I would run on a racetrack fairly comfortably. And, you know, all in all, just a great road tyre in terms of its performance, in terms of mileage as well as grip. The other thing about these tyres is their grip in the wet. Now, I never got to ride them in heavy rain and heavy wet conditions, also to try out, you know, what they're like from an aquaplaning position, which I'm not real keen to test out. But I can tell you there was, you know, I couldn't fault them in terms of their stability on damp road. And, you know, I really would like at some point in time to push these a bit harder in the wet and get a sense of how they really are. Now, why do they perform so well? Well, let me pop across to the tech shop and you'll get a piece of information. The magic of silica compound, Metzeler M9RR. This is the thing that excites me most about the M9RR tyre that Metzeler have created. And it's the thing that differentiates it from the rest, as well as the previous versions of tyres produced by the company. And it's the fact that it's got a full silica compound. So the image where the tyre's all in green is meant to represent that this is the first of a kind. It's a full silica compound tyre, which is raising the bar, setting a new benchmark in terms of how you construct a motorcycle tyre. Now, if you think about previously, you know, the way that we would approach tyre construction, we would just go and buy a dual compound tyre that had a hard, slick piece down the centre, or a hard centre piece, I should say, and a soft rubber compound on the edges. And the purpose of that was basically to get your mileage, make sure it didn't wear out too fast, as well as get lower rolling resistance, better fuel economy with a hard centre, and then have a soft rubber compound on the edge so that you got the grip benefits. But the trade-off was always that the centre part, whilst you get better mileage and it would last a lot longer, the problem with it was you didn't get the same level of grip. So under braking, under acceleration conditions, the tyre didn't behave as well when it's in a vertical position. And it was the opposite on the edges, in that the edges you get a soft tyre that gives you good grip, but they wear out quickly and there's a lot of rolling resistance with the soft rubber on the edges. So basically what they've done is come up with a silica compound. Now, the thing to understand about this is that engineers who are constructing tyres are always trying to balance the trade-off across three characteristics, and that is the rate of wear, right? You want the tyre to last, you don't want it to wear out quickly, the rolling resistance, which affects fuel economy, as well as the grip of the tyre. And it was always a trade-off because the laws associated with you know, rubber compounds and that type of thing were indisputable. A hard tyre would give you low wear rate, it would last longer, it would give you a lower rolling resistance, which meant better fuel economy. But the trade-off was that you got low grip with a hard rubber compound tyre, and everyone knew this and still knows it. So if you wanted grip, right, you'd flip it, you'd go from a hard tyre to a soft tyre, and the soft tyre would give you high grip. But the trade-off was you got a higher rate of wear. Anyone who's ever bought a, you know, a sport tyre or a race tyre that's very soft in its compound, particularly around the edges, knows that you get a whole bunch of grip, but they wear out really fast, particularly on the edges. And you also get higher rolling resistance with a soft rubber compound, which affects negatively the fuel economy of the tyre. So what they've come up with is a silica compound. It's not pure silica, because pure silica doesn't solve the problem, right? A silica compound is a combination of things which does give you a number of benefits. And what it's doing is it's changing the way tyres perform in respect of those laws that we've traditionally been confined by. And that is, hard rubber gives you one set of benefits and soft rubber gives you another. This is different in that silica compound, the way it's constructed, gives you the benefits of both worlds. You can have your cake and eat it as well. The problem with it has been, it's been around for a while, but the cost of producing it has been prohibitive. But now they've lowered the cost of being able to access silica to create these compounds, and now we've got a tyre that we can actually afford to buy and put on a motorcycle. So it's more available to the general run-of-the-mill people like myself and you and whomever else is out there. So the silica compound tyre gives you the benefits of both worlds. You get a high grip, so the performance of the tyre at the higher frequency bounce rates, which is down there at the surface and irregularities of the bitumen, mean that it behaves like a soft rubber compound. The rubber conforms, goes into the cracks and grips the bitumen much, much better. But you also get the benefits of the harder rubber compound tyre at the lower frequency rates, and that is when you're riding along and it's going over undulating bitumen and that type of thing. You get a lower rate of wear than you would normally get with a soft tyre, and you get lower rolling resistance, which means it doesn't negatively affect the fuel economy of the tyre. So you end up with a tyre that's fairly unique, right? Particularly in, you know, the price range that you can buy these M9RRs, in that you get a high grip tyre that has low rolling resistance and low wear rate. And as I said, you're getting your cake and eating it as well. You're getting the benefits of both soft and hard rubber compounds. And it's a pretty cool concept. The other thing is, if you've ever, you know, watched motorcycle racing where they run wets, they're running full silica tyres. And those silica tyres, right, really grip, but they wear out super fast. So if you've ever watched MotoGP where they're running around with those high groove tyres in the wet, they can drag their knee, run 60-degree lean angles, but they don't last. The moment it gets dry, right, they're in trouble. With this M9RR, you get a high degree of wet weather performance, way better than you would traditionally get in a tyre, because of the silica compound, and in addition to that you get better cold weather performance. So like I said, this is the thing that most excites me about the M9RR, and you know, it's just a very cool thing that's going to raise the bench, the standard in tyres for other manufacturers as well. Well, there you have it, a whole bunch of different reasons why these tyres stand out from the rest. Now, to bring this video to conclusion, let me give you a couple of points about what I really like about the tyre. First of all, the dry bitumen or dry condition stability of these tyres, quite amazing. Their grip is incredible, stable front end, back end. The ability to load the front end, brake into corners and drive out is quite amazing for a sport tyre. The second thing I like is the stability or the stable feel you get driving on damp roads. So I don't know if you've ever felt those tyres where they're a bit skittish, kind of you're not quite sure if they're gripping or not gripping. You don't get that feeling with these. These are super stable and the feedback that they give you in wetter conditions. The final thing that I like, and it really stands out to me, is the fact that you get this high performance in these particular tyres in terms of grip and lean angle stability and the ability to crank it out to 60 degrees and put your knee down or whatever you're into. But you're getting the longevity benefits of a hard rubber compound tyre, which is a new way of looking at tyres now, and I'm sure it's going to raise the bar. It's setting a new benchmark that other manufacturers are going to have to take notice of. So you get a sport tyre that performs extremely well, and you get the miles out of it, and you get the wet weather handling. So I don't think you can go too far past, you know, that kind of combination. So you know, from me, 10 out of 10, 2 thumbs up, whatever the case may be. You know, you're not going to be disappointed if you stick a set of these on your bike. Nothing to do but show you a couple of videos now, or a bit of video of the tyre testing itself. So sit back, enjoy. I will see you in the next video. Take care, and always, you know, enjoy this bike life. See ya.